Hello everyone and welcome back to another AFK journey video. In this video I want to do an update to the Skyclops best team video I made because the teams are pretty much the same as in that video, but I neglected to mention Mikola as an option instead of Smokey, and Mikola can allow your damage to be a little bit higher than having Smokey if you have Mikola all the way built up. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to watch replays from my guildmate Splash, who managed to defeat the common 2 difficulty of the Skyclops boss, and he's moved on to the next difficulty. And the team changes if you're able to defeat the common 2 level, but you would need to have TALENE to do this. So when you're trying to execute the Skyclops boss, it's better to run Odie instead of Lily May as a second damage dealer along with TALENE, and you're going to want to have Mikola here because she increases your damage potential, but things can get a little bit risky. The team can get close to dying. You might have to do a couple of runs, and Verdant Spell Artifact again is going to be the best run because it keeps your team alive longer because of the class-based buffs and the haste which is given to your support heroes. So let's watch the replay and you can see the layout of the heroes here, and then we'll go over this layout as well because it is related to their elite magic charms. Okay, so Odie is going to be position swapped actually, and TALENE is just here to deal damage in the front. Mikola is buffing up everyone with the haste buff, and now that she's casted her ultimate, it is never going to lose its effect because they have control of the Honor Arena. Coco is needed for the damage reduction and the shielding. When things get really close at the end, you need to get up to 97% of the boss's health, I believe, for the Odie's execution to be enough to kill him. And so that is why Odie is here, because the team gets really close to killing if, for example, you're using Lily May, but then it can't quite execute the boss like Odie can. Okay, so things are getting really close, up to 93%, 8 seconds left. TALENE, I think, immediately cleared the minions of Skyclops, and there you go, 96.46% was actually what was needed to execute, and he executed with 1 second remaining. But I think if you're trying to do this without Mikola, it is going to be difficult. I don't know if it's possible with Smokey to do this. Maybe if you had the elite magic charms, it would be. Now I'm going to show you, so he doesn't even have the elite magic charms for TALENE or Rainier. If you had them, then it will be easier. Okay, so the team actually didn't have any issue surviving, even with Mikola. So I guess Mikola just is the best option if you have her built up. I also want to show you my improvement to my team. Previously, I told you guys that the best team was Lily May, Odie, and Smokey. And this was the record I set with it. Getting 888 or million damage. Then I tried using Mikola, and I increased my score by 50 million, and here was the formation that I used, but I'll talk about the optimal formation as well of these heroes. If you're running just Lily May and Odie together, Resonating Spell is better. You don't need the Verdant Spell, and the damage is a little bit higher with Resonating Spell. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the best positioning based on the elite magic charms. So Rainier gives a buff, an attack buff to his ally 1 tile behind him, so he should be in front of the ally who is being position swapped. Smokey, honestly, I think it's better if you just give up on the buff that he provides, because if he's in the frontmost position like here, he's going to be buffing attack of your entire team from the beginning of the match, and so that should be his positioning. Coco, if she has elite magic charms, she will give energy on hit and damage reduction to an ally 1 tile in front of her, and you can give that to your Lily May or your secondary damage dealer and if you're running instead of Smokey, you just run Mikola up in the front, and she'll be right there along with Odie and Lily May and buffing all of them up. Now I believe Splash's formation was the same team, but of course he was running TALENE. And if you're gonna do TALENE here, then TALENE will be on the right, and Odie will be getting the attack buff, because with Odie getting the attack buff, I think that means the execution threshold goes slightly lower health needed of the boss to execute, because he will stack poison up to 20 times, and that amount I think will be the execution, so giving him the attack buff is better for that. And then TALENE can just be here. She's going to be getting the energy on hit from the Coco, which is good for her to begin ultimating faster. And again, everyone is buffed up. So this was the team, the optimal team, to try and execute the boss, and it didn't even have any issue surviving. So if you have Mikola, this is probably better for you. If you don't have Mikola, like maybe she's only even Mythic Plus, it might just be better for you to run Smokey, and this is also a very effective team. But I think this is kind of the formation you want to go for. Give up on the Smokey Elite Magic Charm bonus, but if you have Coco and Rainier, this is going to be optimal. Now, if we're talking about the Lily May Odie team, then again, if you have Mikola, you'll have Mikola up in the front, and you'll play Lily May. Lily May can be here, and again, Odie will be in the back with the resonating spell. And this was how you can get the maximum damage score. Okay, so that is basically on the positioning. Now let's move on to the second. If you can make it through the first difficulty, then the team is going to change, because now you're going to need extra help surviving. So you will have to run Shakir as well. This is going to allow you to get a high score on the next difficulty of Skyclops, because you're kind of like at a big level deficit and the boss is dealing a lot of damage. So here you have to go for Smokey for the extra healing, because Smokey heals more than Mikola. And so when you need the extra protection and healing, then Smokey is better. And Shakir as well will provide damage reduction and haste buff. So this is going to be the optimal team. Probably Rainier position swapping the TALENE, and Shakir up right in front of Rainier, and then off to the sides the Smokey and the Coco, because I believe if you have Smokey right in the frontmost tile, the boss will target him and kill the Smokey too quickly. But yeah, I guess you would have to try and see whether it can survive or not. And then for this, you're not going to want to go for Mikola. You just want to have the extra protection and the sustain for your team to survive a little bit longer to get off your damage, because you're at the big level difference. The boss is dealing a lot of damage to you. So that's what I figured. And if you're at a lower resonating level, then probably the Smokey Coco team I mentioned in my previous video might still be the best one for you. And definitely if you don't have Mikola up to Supreme Plus, probably Smokey will be better. Actually, I don't know about that, because I did see some people using even legendary Mikolas instead of Smokey and getting almost the same score as Smokey. So maybe she's usable before that, but she'll give a big damage boost when she's higher ascended. There, the team survived the entire fight, and so this is the optimal team to be running if you manage to make it to the next difficulty. And the damage output was pretty much all TALENE. And TALENE position swap to the front and getting buffed up by all of your team. The Smokey, the Shakir, and Coco to keep your whole team alive. So those are basically the updated versions of the best teams to try. I just want to do one final test, because I want to see... Normally people have always been doing Odie with the position swap, but I want to see whether it's possible to position swap Lily May and all. Oh, I know the reason why. You don't want to do that, because especially with Mikola, her range will not reach if you don't have the Odie being swapped. If you have only Odie over here and Mikola up to the front, then I believe her buff is not going to reach the Odie. So you're going to want to have this. And also this way you can get the resonating spell onto Odie. So this was my overall best score currently. I got 940 million with it. I'm not close to executing the boss. We're not going to be able to kill the boss unless you have TALENE. That damage output is needed. And even for the next round, the boss TALENE is important. So the interesting thing is that TALENE is going to be a key option, at least before getting to end this boss mode for Skyclops. And looking at how well she did and how well she cleared the summons of the boss, I really feel like she is going to be a part of even end this boss mode teams. Yeah, so that's something that we can kind of expect, or we'll have to wait and see about it. Yeah, so Mikola got taken down a little bit low. This team, yeah, can have survivability issues, but if you have a high enough resonating level and you have Coco at Mythic Plus, you should be able to survive with Mikola. And then it just has a little bit higher damage output as compared to Smokey, because Mikola has a bigger haste buff than Smokey does. Okay, 940 million, pretty much on the dot, yeah. I'm not really able to go past this, but this is a really good score you can try to go for. Okay, so overall, these are the updated teams. Basically, Mikola can take the place of Smokey, and it will cause you to deal higher damage, but at the cost of a little bit less healing. So if you're having trouble surviving, then maybe Smokey is still better. And as we saw when Splash moved on to the next difficulty of the boss, he had to bring Smokey back because you need that powerful healing to protect your team. So anyway, overall, that is the update, and then we talked about the positioning based on which elite magic charms you have. I think probably just give up on the Smokey or Mikola charm set and just place them in the frontmost tile, unless they're dying too quickly, like in the next difficulty where Splash had to move Smokey back. But anyway, guys, that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully it was helpful. I'll hopefully see you guys in the next video, and thank you for watching, and until then, everyone, peace out for now.